classic TV fans, Rick 9G here. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about The Twilight Zone, more specifically about 2 episodes from season 1. And I think you're going to be absolutely surprised when I show you the big secret, the big thing you probably didn't notice from these 2 episodes. But then I'm going to take it a step further. I think you're going to absolutely enjoy and love this. If you're into classic TV shows and movies, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It'll get me closer to my goal of reaching 150,000 subscribers by the end of 2022. Thanks ahead for doing so. Now let's get right to the video. Now, the episode that we're going to start with is Time Enough at Last. Now, it is from season 1. It's episode 8. It aired November 2nd, 1959. Now, I am going to completely spoil both episodes. So if you don't want it spoiled, if you don't want to know what the ending is, I would really recommend you pause the video here, you go watch the 2 episodes before you come back to this video. So don't tell me in the comments you ruined it, because I gave you a fair warning. Ready? Here we go. Okay, so in this story we have Mr. Henry Bemis, who's a man who loves to read, absolutely loves it. If he's working at his bank, he is trying to read. He even goes to the safe to lock himself in during his lunch break so that he can read. Unfortunately, an atomic bomb explodes while he's in the safe. Now, he remains alive because he was protected in the safe, but as he comes out, he notices everything around him is essentially destroyed. Everything from his wife that was so mean to him to just everything around him, his bank, all civilization. But there's enough food and drink and opportunities for him to do whatever he wants to lead a long life. At the end of the episode, he even finds a huge library with tons of books, and he's just so happy because there's no reason for him not to read at all. So he continues reading, and as he begins, his glasses fall down and completely shatter. He can't read anything, and he is just in this dilemma where he's like, what am I going to do now? And boom, the episode ends. Now, I do want to bring the attention to the fact that he is on this special, really cool set. It's on the MGM lot that's no longer existing, but it's, look at all the steps on these stairs and all the books and all the debris is everywhere. And of course, this is something that we have probably seen, and it's a very poignant episode. It's a very reminiscent, and in fact, it's one of those images that you'll never forget. Let's get to the second episode, and you'll see how all of this, in my mind, connects. Again, there will be spoilers ahead. This is called A Nice Place to Visit, Season 1, Episode 28, aired April 15th, 1960. Now, it's all about a man named Henry Francis Valentine, who is essentially a robber, a thief. He's not a great guy. He's done so many bad things in his life, and he suddenly dies at the beginning of the episode. Now, he is in a shootout with the police, and he wakes up in front of this man who says, hey, I can grant every single one of your wishes. You want a mansion? You want tons of women? You want to win at gambling every single time? I can give this all to you. And this guy is saying, oh my goodness, I'm in the place. Like, I'm where he's supposed to be. I'm in heaven. Like, this is perfect. But the more he's there and the more he lives and the more he realizes what's going on, he's getting bored, he's getting upset. Everything is the same. There is no risk. There's no chance. There's no, let's say, everything is 100% in his favor. There is no excitement in his life. And then he finally realizes that the man reveals, hey, this isn't where you were thinking. This isn't heaven, but down there. It's a place down there. Some people will call it hell. Some people will call it the inferno or the underworld. I'll use those interchangeably. I'll probably just use the underworld for simplicity. Now, if we're talking about the underworld, we can think, okay, this is something that we can get used to. But notice where he takes him. This fallen angel takes him to essentially all these cabinets where his name is in there and his entire life record is in there. And he goes to this hall of records where we can see stairs. We can see these stairs that are very reminiscent to an episode I just showed you. In fact, this is the same set from Time Enough at Last. Now, I could just end the video here and we could say the end, but wait, it doesn't stop here. I'm gonna take it a step further. Yeah, cool. In my estimation, these are the same steps. Great, it was just reusing of steps. But what if Rod Serling, who is, a genius, what if he went a step further? What if we already know that Henry Francis Valentine was in the underworld? He was in the bad place, right? Well, wait, what if time enough at last, what if he was in the bad place? What if when that nuclear explosion went off when he was in the safe, he actually died? And his personal underworld, his personal inferno or hell, was no one around. And essentially he was happy for a little bit, right? No one around to bug him. He could read all he wants. And then he has that moment at the end where he's like, oh no, I can't even read now. This is his hell. And so he was on the same steps that Henry Francis Valentine is at. So he's in the same place. This is his personal underworld, his personal inferno, his personal hell. So those sets would give us that clue, that impression. I want to know your thoughts about this. I know many people say, nope, it's just a reuse set, and that's great. But if we really think about this, I mean, essentially, Mr. Bemis, I mean, it all works. Everything comes together, and the writing would be perfect. There's nothing in the story that conflicts this. I want to know your thoughts down below about this. I think it's really, really cool. I think if Rod knew that we would watch this over and over and over again, I think he would think that some people would. That maybe we'd figure this out eventually. But I want to know your thoughts. This is so cool. This is so exciting. It was just a light bulb in my head that turned on, and I think this is so, so awesome. I'd love to know your thoughts. I'm excited to read them in the comments below. Thank you so much for the support as always. And don't forget, everyone, always, always, always be hopeful. Thank you so much to my supporters on Patreon, especially my Diamond tier patrons. New patron Gerard D, David D, Citizen Kane 359, Greg S, Kevin K, Ricky, Sally, and Vito L. Make sure to check the links in the description to see how you could be on this list as well.